We're talking money this morning on Breakfast Television. According to a BlackRock Investor Pulse survey this year, 54% of the value of the portfolios held by Canadians are in cash accounts. November is Financial Literacy Month, so we're talking with personal finance expert Bruce Sellery. Bruce is helping us avoid the 4 common mistakes that people make when it comes to their investments. Good morning, Bruce. It's always great chatting with you, my friend. And right off the get-go, you said it's all about attitude. We need to change our attitude toward investing.
I'm talking to you, Ted, and I'm talking about you. So your attitude, people are disengaged. This is the #1 mistake investors make. We're just kind of like, you know, we just rather be napping with our favorite teddy bear. We don't want to pay attention to any of this, and this is a problem. Investors need to have a super simple investment plan. Like, we're talking super simple, and revisit it once a year. Because for so many Canadians, the lights are on, but no one is home. We need to pay attention.
Oh, hey, Bruce. Okay, here we go. And what does it mean when
you weren't even paying attention to me right now. Oh, my God. You know what? You just sit there, and I'll do the entire segment myself. It's going to be fine. The next thing I want to talk about is Canada.
Too much Canada. Yeah, too much Canada.
Too much Canada. The thing is, there's this thing called home country bias, and that's when investors, and it happens all over the world, focus most of their money on the country that they live in. In Canada, a lot of investors have like 40 to 50% of their assets invested in Canadian stocks, all those Canadian investment products. That's a problem because we represent under 4% of the world market cap. So if you do that, what you're missing out on is growth stocks because there are not a lot of Canadian tech names like Google, Apple, Facebook. We just don't have them here. So you're missing out on growth. You're also not very well diversified because, well, we love our energy sector, we love our banking sector. Those are really the two that the market is most focused on. So it's not a very diversified picture. Canadians need to look at that percentage and think, you know, I love the Stamps, I love Nick's Steakhouse, I love so many, I love Waterton, I love Calgary, I love all these things, but invest in a more disciplined and diversified way.
Okay, and what about when it comes to risk? You say that we all misunderstand risk.
Not all of us, but many of us misunderstand risk. And it is both practical risk and psychological risk. And oftentimes people talk about, oh, well, you need to be able to sleep at night. Absolutely. From a psychological perspective, you need to find the level of risk that's in keeping with your temperament. But you also need to find the level of risk that's in keeping with your circumstances, this practical risk. And a 23-year-old has a very different risk profile when they're saving for retirement than a 63-year-old who's 2 years away from starting to need some of that money to put groceries in their fridge. So you need to look at it both psychologically, what can I stand, but also practically, what happens to my lifestyle if the market does what it did in 2008, which was crater, like 30 or 40%. To a 23-year-old, no big deal, it came back. To a 63-year-old, big deal. So you need to assess risk in the context of your own circumstances and consider all sorts of things, your age, the size of your nest egg, whether or not you've got a company pension, all those sorts of things to find the right level of risk for you.
Okay, and what about fees? You're always talking about don't forget the fees, Ted, because there are some doozies hidden in there.
Yeah, there are. And so let's say you spend, 2.3% on your portfolio in fees. It might not seem like a lot, like that's not that big a deal. It's an enormous deal over time. If you can bring those fees down to 1% or under 1% through exchange-traded funds, low-cost mutual funds, a robo-advisor, whatever it is, find a way to lower those fees because they are one of the most important predictors of how your performance is going to be because it's something you can control. You can't control what the market's going to do, but you can control the fees you pay. And listen, I don't care what sort of arrangement you have, if you're a DIY, if you're with a robo, if you're with an advisor, just make sure that you get value for it. So your awesome financial advisor, have them deliver the goods and show up for their meeting when they try and schedule it, right? People are like, I don't want to go see them, it's too scary. Don't do that. Show up. You're paying for them. Show up and get the best of their insight and wisdom.
All right, good stuff. Great advice, my friend Bruce. Hope you have a great day. Thank you, as always, for your insight. Really, really good information. MoneySense, by the way, the MoneySense Portfolio Builder website is up and running. Lots of tips and information about getting financially savvy on there. moneysense.ca/portfolio builder. And there is also a contest on the MoneySense Portfolio Builder website. All you do is answer a few questions, watch a few videos, and you could win $5,000.
Breakfast Television, sponsored in part by Core ETFs from iShares by BlackRock. Low-cost building blocks for the foundation of your portfolio. Visit iShares.ca to learn more.